Russian Revolution was a set of revolutions that took place in Russia throughout the year 1917. Tsar Nicholas II came into power in 1894 and he wasn't really favored among the Russian people. The people were upset over the rule and began to protest. They thought of him as arrogant and standoffish, and the Tsar was really out of touch with what's happening with the peasants and middle class. It resulted in the eradication of Tsar Nicholas II and the establishment of a communist state.
The First World War acted as a catalyst for social change. The war brought many of Russia's underlying social, political, economic, and military problems into focus. World War I caused many food shortages as well as inflation. Many resources were unequally divided to give more to the war. Town populations increased exponentially as war industries demanded extra labor. The rising prices due to inflation caused food to become unaffordable because most of the country's resources were exploited to the Russian soldiers.
Russia entered World War I with confidence, but the country was in hazardous economic and political situation. Russia did in fact make great industrial developments prior to the war, but the country was still underdeveloped and ill-equipped for them to continue participating in World War I.
After Tsar Nicholas II abdicated, the State Duma of Russian Assembly with adversary or legislative functions took control of the country, converting the Russian Empire into a new Russian Republic. Vladimir Lenin, who was in his base in Switzerland, decided to return to Mother Russia. Back in Russia, Lenin gave speeches to the Bolsheviks criticizing the Russian provisional government. Over the months leading up to July, Lenin attended Bolshevik Central Committee meetings, campaigned his political ideas, wrote for the Bolshevik paper, and gave speeches to convert people to his cause. An illness soon overtook him and he left the city. During his absence, the Bolsheviks held armed demonstrations, but Lenin came back to put a stop to the violent protest. The government decided to put Lenin in jail for the Bolsheviks' actions. Lenin evaded arrest and escaped to Razliv. The July days, July 16th to July 20th, are events in the Russian Revolution of 1917, when soldiers and industrial workers engaged in armed demonstrations against the Russian provisional government. The Bolsheviks attempted to stop the protests, but they ended up supporting them.
Russia's new highly provisional government was divided between moderate and radicals. Members of the radicals were called Bolsheviks, which were primarily composed of working-class citizens and were followers of Lenin's communist ideal. In October of 1917, the Bolsheviks seized power in the October Revolution. They overthrew the provisional government and declared a communist state. This became the foundation of the Soviet Union. After this, Vladimir Lenin quickly removed Russia from World War I. By the end of 1917, Russia was no longer a part of the war, with the exception of some groups who contributed to the fight. The Treaty of Brest-Litovsk officially ended Russia's involvement in World War I. The treaty between Russia and Central Power was signed on March 3, 1918.